Hello and welcome to another audio analysis. In today's video we'll be taking a look at the track Haunted by the American rock band Spanish Love Songs. This is the first single to be released from their upcoming fourth studio album No Joy, which will be dropping on August 25th. And it'll be interesting to see if the band continue to evolve their style. Initially starting out and focusing on more emo and pop punk, they seem to have gradually moved into more of a steady rock sound, having that much more anthemic, quick-paced sound, and that's what we've seen across previous albums. They've really started to tie into that sound. And their previous album, Brave Faces, everyone was certainly very well received and was a very strong album, really showed the amount of bite and kick that the band have actually got with some of the tracks that they did release from that particular album, and they're hoping to do the same and continue that trend going with these latest releases. So will this latest track haunt your nightmares or guide your dreams? Let's take a look at exactly how it sounds.
You pulled off the road so you could cry. It's too quiet in the suburbs. You searched your mind to try to find where the bottom really was. When you felt nothing but young and in love, and they didn't love you in return. And that look that was in their eyes is a memory you burned.
So anyway, with this track we can certainly see what it's aiming at. This idea of post-breakup, this idea of kind of maybe feeling like you've become a bit of a ghost, this idea of being haunted by your past memories, kind of burning them into something, just getting rid of them, erasing them, with this line, is a memory you've burnt. And musically, I'm quite interested actually. This has got a much lighter feel brought through by Meredith from those keys, from that acoustic guitar. It's really adding such a nice soft tone, which really interestingly contrasts with Dylan's kind of slightly sharper vocals. It has a very interesting delivery, very similar to the band such as Me Without You, in that styling that he drives it forward. He almost vibrating his voice at these slightly higher notes as well. So the two really mixing together have a really interesting contrast that really blends together very well.
You sleep with the window open, and you hope the cold gets in your heart. But you're not haunted, you just miss everything. You're not a ghost, so stop disappearing. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And I love the way that he's kind of delivering this to somebody, but you're not haunted, you just miss everything. You're not a ghost, so stop disappearing. It's almost like you've got your best friend telling you just to stop trying to vanish away from everybody after a breakup, which is what some people do. They look for solace, they look for that solitude and that time alone where they don't want to really see anybody. So interesting how it's touching on that. And I quite like the way that this guitar, the guitars in this almost give off a very Cortinas feel, like You're Not 19 Forever and tracks such as that. Just the way they kind of really add to this stronger pace that we've got that really drives the song through. And it also helps to add to this very melancholic feel. It's a song that's kind of aimed at a sad subject, but also trying to invoke feelings of happiness. So it's a really interesting mix, just like we've got with the music and the vocals. We've got it with kind of the way that it's trying to convey an interesting message with this kind of more upbeat style.
There's another body in the McDonald's parking lot. The cops stand around like there's nothing to do. You start to worry that's what you look like when it catches up. But you're a stranger in your photos, melt into a drink with all your friends, and you're swallowed in a moment. The metaphor is meaningless, and you'll say, that's okay, they never liked me anyway. But there's a killer in your heart.
So that's quite interesting actually. I love this idea of the cops standing around like there's nothing to do because there's another body in the McDonald's pilot. Almost like this is like you'll become a husk almost if you continue to live that way. You start to worry that's what you'll look like when it catches up. So like almost like you'll get to this point where you just become another body, just somebody that's just forgotten almost, just another stranger in your photo. So this idea again, just more lyrics that really show this idea of disappearing, melt into a drink with all your friends, just swallowed in a moment. So can actually touch on the idea of kind of surrounding yourself with people, with friends, just go for a drink and things like that when you're feeling down. Just really socialize, try and bite the bullet and just get through that feeling of just being haunted like you are a ghost and wanting to ghost everybody in your life. So really simple and easy to understand lyrics for this track.
You're not haunted, you just miss everything. You're not a cautionary tale, so don't you vanish on me. You're losing weekends, and then the days will start to slide. You keep breaking all these habits, but you can't seem to get by.
And I quite like how actually at one point we have this kind of switch in perspective, almost like Dylan's putting words into this character's mouth almost, and you'll say, that's okay, they never liked me anyway. So I kind of like how it's kind of putting himself into that position of this character, kind of idealizing what they would actually say, kind of find these justifications to make it all okay, even though there's a killer in your heart that just kind of really, what you say and what you do are two very different actions post-breakup. You kind of just try and put it past, there's two sides almost, that part that's like, how could they do this to me? There's this other part where it's like, they never liked me anyway, this was never meant to be. So you kind of have that denial and also kind of that slightly more vengeance style, that more aggressive style. So I like how they're touching on both ways that someone can deal with a breakup.
You used to daydream about the things you do and say when you were famous, but now the plastic in your belly, it has you feeling all sorts of sick. You used to daydream, and you're not haunted, it's just the devil in your skin. It'll be this bleak forever, but it is a way to live. You're not alone, you just miss everything. And when you're feeling like a ghost, would you come haunt me, please come haunt me?
And there's a couple more things I really like that they're doing with this actual track. You used to daydream, so kind of touching on the things you used to do, the kind of point in your life where you were actually happy. Interesting track line about, but now the plastic in your belly, it has you feeling all sorts of sick. It's almost like there's something in your stomach that's kind of shouldn't be there. You kind of have this sickly feeling. You don't really know what to do. You just want to eat an entire tub of ice cream, things like that. And this idea, it's just the devil in your skin. It'll be this bleak forever, but it's a way to live. You're not alone. So really emphasizing the idea that you're not alone, even though you feel like the devil, you feel like you've done something completely wrong. And this idea of when you're feeling like a ghost, would you come haunt me, please? So almost like if you're getting to that point where you want to ghost everybody, even if it's just you've got a best friend out there, it's a case of go and talk to them, come haunt me because you've now become this ghost, and we'll go work through things together. So I kind of like that it's touching on some really simple ideas, but using this metaphor of haunting, ghost, really simple things to understand that you can apply to a real world situation.
Into that empty house, the silence from the street, your blanket in your seat, the nearly muted TV. There's no answer from you, and your phone blinks with my reply. It's that lump in my chest, and my relief to hear you cry.
Well, I really like the ending on that track. I love the way it talks about this idea of there's no answer from you. It's that lump in my chest. Am I relieved to hear you cry? It's almost like you're concerned about a friend when they're going through a post-breakup and you really want to get in touch and you want them to reply. You don't want to think the worst has happened and they've just become this ghost and kind of just done something very rash. So I kind of like how it almost has this story built through. It's almost like this message of hope crying out to somebody that's going through a rough breakup. So it's a really smart way to kind of build that into the track, and I really did enjoy that. I love the energy on the track as well. Just how before the chorus we saw the drums have these quick, very short bursts of energy. Same for the guitars as well. Something that you see a lot of the Cortinas tracks do. So I kind of see the resemblance there. And I just love how it gives these bursts as you head into the chorus. Again, adding to this really interesting melancholic feel this track does deliver. And certainly interesting from the band. Certainly something slightly lighter than what we have seen on previous albums. Certainly delving more into a sort of soft rock feel. But I love the transition between these acoustic synthy elements and Dylan's really sharp, aggressive vocals that kind of cut like a knife. So that contrast is really blended very well together on this track, and I really did enjoy it. It's definitely got that hook into it. Really want to hear it again and again and again. Certainly has that replayability as well, and carries quite a sweet message about just kind of to a friend that's going through a post-breakup, and just kind of how you can deal with that, and just how you want to kind of tell them not to be a ghost. So that will be everything for today's video, but certainly a very interesting track. I'm really curious to see if they're going to continue this sound with this upcoming 4th studio album. I really enjoyed that. I like the constant change that the band are able to show, and how they're able to dance between these genres. I mean, they've gone from emo, punk, rock. They've really blended everything in, and they're taking the next step with this track as well. So we'll be curious to see how the album does begin to flesh out. But as always, feel free to let me know your thoughts about this track in the comments section below. If you're hearing from the first time, what are your thoughts on this track? And go back and check out some of their more recent discography as well. Has a really interesting blend and mix of sounds that are definitely worth checking out. Also, if you would like to see more content like this, then please do feel free to subscribe, and I will see you in the next audio analysis.